I'm James, and welcome to Alternate Sides, a podcast about movies, parking, and a 25-year friendship. This episode, we grab our shovels and dig into Danny Boyle's 1994 suitcase-full-of-cash thriller, Shallow Grave, starring Ewan McGregor, Kerry Fox, and Christopher Eccleston. It's a tale of intrigue, dismemberment, and backstabbings, both literal and figurative. Along the way, we also discuss the Netflix series Ripley, the European Cup, and Sam's annoyance at... You won't believe that Sam gets annoyed at something. Sam's annoyance at people who ask, what happens next after a movie? What happens after the movie ends to those characters? All right, here we go. Whoa! I know I've said this before, but there really is much to discuss today.
Hang on. I'm going to change the microphones. Speak to me.
Speak to me.
Speak the speech, I pray.
As I pronounced it to you, trippingly on the tongue.
You're a cunt. Only a cunt would continue.
I just need to demonstrate that I know it.
Naturally.
Much to discuss, but I notice you're not in the car. So Terry has the car again?
Terry's got the car. Same problem.
Coil?
But so they say. He says it's the same problem, but you see, it doesn't seem to get fixed. So
I don't know if Terry is the man for you. That something seems to be amiss.
He's such a lovely guy, though. I just like hanging out with Terry.
So you have no car.
I did say to Terry, all I know is I keep paying for you to fix the same problem.
Well, that's direct.
I guess we'll see if that gets anywhere.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how much you've spent on the car and whether you could have just bought a different car at this point.
This is not a helpful conversation.
You also went to Italy since we last...
Oh, that's right. We did a family trip, Margie Wilder and myself. Mm-hmm. We went to Rome and Florence and a little bit in between.
I love Rome.
Do you? I love what's in Rome. I don't love the trillions of people who are there with you, having had the same idea of visiting Rome.
Well, this is like Barcelona. Did you hear about that? The whole bunch of Barcelona residents with water pistols going out and shooting at tourists?
I think something's happened. Tourism has scaled up in a way that it's not sustainable. Like, it really isn't. So I went to Rome and Florence. I did a trip in Italy, like as a backpacker, as a student with my friend Dag when we were like 21 or whatever. And I saw all these sites, and you would just show up and you want to see the Colosseum. All right, you go to the Colosseum, like you would. Now what's happened is it's like Ticketmaster. Some bot or some third party is essentially buying all the tickets up from the Pantheon or the Colosseum or the wherever, Vatican. And then they do this hustle of like, they sell you the ticket at triple the price in what's called a skip the line ticket. Because if you wanted to just show up, if you just showed up this morning at the Pantheon, you'd have to wait in the sun for 2 hours. Well, that's not really practical. Every place you want to go, wait in the sun for 2 hours. So what they do is they force your hand to buy these stupid tickets at triple the price or whatever. It's just... Also, there's one great place. There's a church which has the three Caravaggios in the back corner. You know that one? And you go in there, and of course it's a church, so that one they don't charge you for. But they switch the lights off on the Caravaggio, and you have to drop in a €2 coin to get a minute of light. And it's just like, at a certain point, you're like, guys, I mean, okay, I'll give you €2, but this is pathetic.
That's interesting because, and it ties into the movie very indirectly, well, through a couple of weird connections, but that happens in Ripley. There's a whole subplot in the series Ripley that he's going to look at all these Caravaggios, and he has to put money in the thing and the light comes on. So if that's accurate, that's been around since the 60s, I guess, the idea of paying for the light. Last time I was in Rome, you could still just wander into the Pantheon. No line, no ticket. It was just open.
No, mate. No. And then when you get in the Pantheon, I mean, you can't breathe.
I don't like this conversation. It's making me tense. This is making me anxious just talking about it. You were not only in Italy recently, you were also in Glasgow.
That's right.
And I saw on Deadline.com an announcement of your new project the other day.
You following me on Google Alerts?
No, you sent it to me,
Oh, I sent it to you.
which was very sweet, since you so rarely have the opportunity to send press about yourself.
That's true.
You, an Academy Award-winning producer, what's his name?
Charles Wessler.
Doing a documentary about Glasgow football club Partick Thistle.
Arctic Thistle.
So strange confluence of Scotland things. So my daughter's at university in Glasgow. You're about to do this documentary there, and then we've got this movie, Shallow Grave.
All roads lead to Glasgow. A place that until this summer I'd never actually really visited. Maybe I went there as a kid, but I spent some time in Edinburgh as a child, but not in the other place.
Well, I think Shallow Grave is supposed to be, I think it was filmed in Glasgow mostly, but set in Edinburgh, I think, is the idea.
Does it matter? It doesn't matter, right? I would have thought Glasgow would be more fitting.
1994, Shallow Grave, Danny Boyle's first movie.
First movie.
And pretty good for a first movie, I would say.
Yeah. It's a template for what to do with the first movie, I would say. If you want a career, yeah.
Same as Blood Simple, basically. Small, like just a few main characters, contained, tense thriller. Crime-based, yeah, with a little bit of...
With some flourishes.
With some flourishes, yeah.
That's the template, really. When you look at it like that, it seems so simple, but it's not.
Well, why didn't we do that? I guess I was thinking this too, and I think there are many people who have tried to do that and haven't succeeded, and we are among those, I think.
Well, we never tried. We never got the movie off the thing. But Central Park was very much, the script that we were writing had some of that, but we could never really figure it out properly.
I'll just give a quick recap of Central Park, because we mentioned
it a couple of times.
Don't. It's just the idea of a small group of different it takes place in entirely in Central.
This is the problem.
Forget
this is the problem.
No, I can pitch it very quickly. It's a thriller that's it takes place entirely in Central Park over the course of one night.
That's a good log line.
And a quick, seemingly simple pickpocket grift almost becomes much bigger and involves the different people and spirals out of control. Not the best pitch I've ever done, but...
Yeah.
All right, Shallow Grave, 1994. Our pal Kerry Fox.
Returning champion.
From An Angel at My Table.
What accent is she doing in this movie?
I'm not sure. There was one moment where the Australia really came out in her, I thought. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I thought throughout. And I was like, well, maybe they're just saying she is Australian, but I can't really place it. It's sort of weird. Yeah.
Kerry Fox, Christopher Eccleston, and an unknown Scottish actor at that time, Ewan McGregor.
Was this his break? Was this his first thing? Because clearly Kerry Fox had been...
Kerry Fox was like that's how you get the money. And then the other two had to audition, which is sort of ironic because arguably they've gone on to bigger careers. I don't know about Eccleston.
Christopher Eccleston? No. What's he
he's
done?
Doctor Who, mate. He was Doctor Who, wasn't he?
Oh, was he?
Yeah. I think for one season.
Huh.
I liked him in Jude. Michael Winterbottom's movie Jude is a adaptation of Jude the Obscure with Kate Winslet from the mid-90s.
I've never seen that.
Oh, it's very good, as I recall. Very dark. That's a very dark novel. Okay, so the three of them, and they play flatmates, and they're kind of assholes.
No, kind of. They're complete assholes. From scene one, they are despicable. They're unlikable. They're mean. They're petty.
They play these three flatmates who are looking for a fourth flatmate. And they find this fourth flatmate, this slightly mysterious guy, Hugo, who's a writer, claims to be a novelist. And very quickly, Hugo dies of a drug overdose. And they discover him in his room in the flat. And they also discover a suitcase full of cash, which is classic movie. I actually was going to look up on like tvtropes.com or whatever to see like how many movies and TV shows involve a suitcase full of cash.
Yeah.
And of course, they don't do the sensible thing. They decide to just chop him up and keep the money. And then, of course, like Blood Simple, like so many other movies, it's not so simple, not so easy. And then there ends up being a couple of thugs who are in search of the suitcase of cash. So they got to chop him up, and they draw straws. And Christopher Eccleston, who plays in the beginning the sort of most mild-mannered of them, an accountant, has to do it. And it's not so easy to chop up a body and get rid of it. It tends to linger, I think.
Murder
and
will
he
out.
starts to go, yeah, a little water clears us of this deed. Yeah. And so it spirals out of control. But why are they such assholes in the beginning? And also my question is like, why not just report the death, but keep the money? If you hid the suitcase full of cash and just called the ambulance and the cops and said, this new flatmate of ours has died of a drug overdose, it would all be wrapped up very quickly. And then you've got a suitcase full of cash. And
Well,
even
no,
if
because
the bad
presumably
guys
then whoever wherever that money has come from,
yeah,
those people will immediately know. And that's the thing. There's a journey the thugs are trying to figure out. There's no link. They believe that there's no link tying them to this guy. Nobody knows that this guy is in their flat. So if they announced, oh, there's this guy who's dead, then immediately that officially, if there's any
I take
alert,
the chance. Don't you think that's better? I'd rather take the chance of that. And then if they show up,
well, you would not take the money. If you're going to take the money, you got to go all the way.
no.
Yes, you can't do. There's no half.
No. If you're going to take the money, you have to dismember a corpse. No.
Well,
no.
you could put him in the incinerator. You could choose how you'll dispose of the body, but you cannot. There cannot be a dead body in your flat and you take the money. That's not how these things work.
I think that's how I would do it.
Yeah, you'd be immediately. Peter Mullen would be right around to your house, stuffing you in.
Yeah, they eventually come in and they're quite brutal, hitting Ewan McGregor on the shins with a crowbar. I mean, it just looks, with a plastic bag over his head. It's very painful.
He folds quite quickly.
But there was an interesting connection between this movie and the recent series Ripley, which I think you haven't seen.
I've only seen a bit of the first episode.
But which I saw, and also to my first screenplay, The Morning Cloak, which we discussed on, I think, the Elephant Man episode. And that is like, what does it really entail to get rid of a body? And like to have to...
Well, it's the thing that we were trying to do in Central Park, which is that it's what I like about it is that it's ordinary people dealing with something extraordinary. This is not, The Rock.
Right, Jason Bourne, yeah.
Yeah, it's not Jason Bourne, it's not an expert. It's like just regular Scottish people, like going, okay, what do? We buy a saw, we buy a hammer, we dig a ditch, we bundle him. Like them trying to move the body down the stairs is a great scene. Like how cumbersome it is to actually do this.
Well, that scene happens in Ripley also, him trying to get a body down the stairs.
It did make me think about old Bobby Durst as well, who did this in real life. Yeah. Who chopped up his neighbor and put him in bags and threw him in Galveston Bay.
The subject of The Jinx.
Exactly.
The second series of which you just produced and edited and wrote.
Yeah.
See, you do something like that. Next thing you know, you're in Deadline.com and you're off to the races. Yeah, I mean, my fascination in The Morning Cloak was sort of, the whole premise of that script was the idea of like two friends, kind of a la Leopold and Loeb, like getting away with the perfect crime. Like, how could you actually do it? And the idea of talk slowly descending into the actual doing out of it. And of course, it's never as straightforward as you think. And that happens in Ripley too. There are actually two long episodes of what happens when you try and kill someone. And it's messy and it takes a lot longer than you think. And then there's a lot of blood and then there's covering it up.
Right.
My issue with Ripley is, it's beautifully made. It's beautifully shot and beautifully acted and the music is nice but I felt like you never quite know why he's doing anything he's doing. Like, it's never clear, is he just like this sociopath? Is he doing it for the money?
Did you feel that in the Minghella version?
I mean, I haven't seen that in 20 years, but...
I don't remember that being
I don't recall feeling that in that movie. This is almost like, because you don't know what his intention is, and his affect is so blunted and flat, you never really get the sense of like what's at stake, because you don't know what he's trying to do. And nor is it like a sort of a Fargo thing where he's in over his head and sort of hapless, just kind of like improvising, trying to go from one thing to another. It's very frustrating after a while.
Yeah. Well, but this is not that. There's a clear motivation. On the other hand, it's never clear here how much money is at stake. It's a suitcase full of cash, but will that money, especially if it was split three ways, it's not enough for them to retire on. It's not enough for them to...
Well, call it £1 million.
Sure.
It's enough to go to Rio and set up a new life and be comfortable, isn't it?
Is it? It's enough to go to Rio, sure, but then what?
Why are you asking? Who cares if it's enough money to retire on?
Because there's something very innocent about it. Like there's something actually, it comes to the heart of the movie, which is that what's the price of this? And so what I find very sweet actually is when they have that moment of let's spend money. The thing, and it speaks to the time as well, with 95, the things that they go and do are just like buy a video camera and buy some silly tchotchkes.
Yeah.
They just buy silly shit, but it doesn't feel at all worth it.
I think this is why the Christopher Eccleston character gets so annoyed that they go off and buy these things. I think he's, as an accountant, sees the value of the money.
We don't know what it's cost us. We know what it's cost you £500.
What you paid for it. You paid £500 for it, but we don't know. But so let's go back to the beginning, though. Why are they assholes? Why are they so terrible?
Because it's more interesting.
Is it?
Because it's much better. It's a much better movie for them being assholes. Because they're immediately... You're forced to reckon with your feelings about them. Because if they were lovely people, it would be, first of all, a harder turn.
Harder to believe that they would go through it.
If they were really like you and me, I think if you and me found the dead body in the suitcase full of cash, I might take £100 off the top and go, let's have a few beers. But I don't think I'd take the suitcase and chop up the body. But these guys, you got to get us there. But also,
I just want to interrupt to say I would probably take more than 100, but I would probably do the same. You take 10 grand or whatever. And then,
sure. I don't know. This is what it was. This is how much was in there.
I don't know.
I don't know.
He just came in. He's naked on the bed and he's ODing. But I guess it makes sense. Also, it's more believable that they would turn on each other if they're.
Everything is about selfishness and self-interest and what will you do and also it puts you, the viewer, in a more complex relationship with the characters. You don't just root for them. And there's this other like sexual tension between them all.
Right.
That kind of plays out in different ways. Kerry Fox is constantly being like stalked by someone. She's a doctor, but the phone's constantly ringing, whether it's one man or two, and she's getting letters and whatever. So she has this sort of power over men. And she clearly has it over the two flatmates, and she flirts with Hugo, the person who comes in. Like there's this tension, and all of this kind of builds up, so that then when the tension is ratcheted up further after they've chopped up the body and all that, there's a lot of room for them to push these things.
Right.
Whereas if these three were just kind of vanilla, nice people with day jobs.
Well, it doesn't have to be one or the other, but I hear you.
Yeah, I like it.
They're so needlessly cruel in the first scene or two.
And I like that they give Cameron his moment. Like they're so mean to this guy Cameron at the beginning, and then the Hogmanay party, he punches Ewan McGregor in the toilets. It's great.
Yeah. I haven't been punched in the toilets in a long time. Well, so it's a good movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I think it's good.
No, I think I would agree. It's a good movie. It was a very big movie in Britain.
Yeah.
It was the kind of movie, like you're saying, like the sort of blossoming independent voice, right?
Yeah.
So Danny Boyle makes this movie in 94, 95, whatever. And it's got all the hallmarks of what he then did with Trainspotting. Well, I was amazed actually watching it. The beginning of this movie it's the exact template of the beginning of Trainspotting.
That's what I actually wrote that down in my phone as I was watching it. Like the jump from this to Trainspotting is such a small jump.
And I do think Trainspotting, which I haven't seen since it came out, but I do remember Trainspotting felt like a great movie. And it was one of those cultural milestones in British cinema.
Yeah.
It was when it came out, it was such a shock to the system. It was so pervasive. It was just everywhere for a minute. And I think he sort of set that up with this movie. And I think that in a weird way in this movie, all the elements are there. And it even has the like twisty-turny ending and the...
Well, let me ask you about the end. Well, no, go ahead. Finish it.
I was just going to say, somehow it doesn't... The thing about a movie with a premise as simple as suitcase full of cash, right, is that it's entirely about where you take that premise.
Right.
So you could give that premise, suitcase full of cash. You could give it to Bergman. You could give it to Woody Allen. You could give it to Spielberg. You could give it to a million different great, great directors, and they'll all make, or writers is probably the better way of doing it. You give it to a bunch of really great writers, and they'll all make you a different version of that movie that will be in its premise the same thing and compelling. But the question always hinges on, okay, so where do we take it? My feeling and my memory of the movie when I watched it, back then in 94, 95, was that the Eccleston in the loft, like drilling holes and becoming like a crazy person, was somehow not quite satisfying. It didn't quite feel like the right answer.
It doesn't feel earned that he's suddenly become this like totally crazy person, like supposedly living up in this like attic loft space,
and is able to dispatch the gangsters like immediately. Like I understand that he was the fragile one, and that he draws the short straw, and ends up cracking. I think that's right, and that the other two go off and they're like okay with it, they're fine. But I'm not sure that they quite nailed the disintegration.
So what happens in the end of this movie? Now I'm going to confess something here. I'm sometimes a bit slow when it comes to the end of movies. Like I'm not as slow as David Chase, who came out of Planet of the Apes and said, "Oh, they had a Statue of Liberty too." But so at the end, I mean, this is spoiler alert, but Eccleston ends up dead. Kerry Fox ends up
killing him.
Yeah, getting away with the suitcase, but the suitcase doesn't have the money in it. And Ewan McGregor ends up stabbed and pinned by the knife that he's stabbed with to the kitchen floor, and he's still alive at the end, right?
Yes.
Now, it's so embarrassing to ask this question, but like, then what happens? Like, are we to believe that Ewan McGregor like survives and gets to keep the cash? I don't think so.
Well, yes, eventually he's going to go to jail. But when he comes out, he's hidden. The final shot, right, is the pan down, tilt down to under the floorboards where you see the knife. It's nice, the knife dripping blood onto the cash.
Very, very good. So this is why he's smiling at the end.
Yeah, because he knows that Kerry Fox, first of all, he's done the switcheroo on her because she thinks she's gotten away with the money and off to Rio, but she's not. He knows that he has paid the price. He's been caught. The detective has caught him. He's going to go down for this. But in the end, what did he do? He didn't murder anyone. And so he'll do a little stint. And then he knows where the money is. Yeah. So he's laughing.
But see, this is where my brain is annoying, because I'm immediately thinking like, well, he's got to hold on to the flat. He's got to keep paying rent on the flat while he's.
I think you are the worst audience. I would hate to make a movie for that question. Fuck off. The movie's over. Go have dinner, have a bottle of wine, and enjoy your life.
I need to know what happened.
Actually, I think that you'll find that his lease would be up if he's in jail, and he will not be allowed to come back. What's he going to do? Rip up the floorboards? Is he of someone else's house? I don't believe it. Fuck off. He's got the money under the floor.
I remember when you made your first movie, Cry Funny Happy, which was 20 years ago. And I think we were at Sundance, and there was a Q&A, and somebody asked this question of you. What happens after the movie? Do they end up together, or do they end up... And you replied, whatever you like.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever you like. It's yours at that point. It's not mine anymore. I've given you everything that I know about it. But what's the point? What if I said to you, oh, you know what happens is this and this and this? Who cares?
Well, no, I don't expect you to say Ewan McGregor ends up going to veterinary school and moving to London or whatever. Like, I don't need that.
It's a cheeky ending. It's a good ending, actually. It's a very good ending. The switcheroo with the money and the headlines is excellent.
Very good. And she's great in that moment. We find her having just discovered that she's just done these terrible, terrible acts to get away with it because of the money, and now doesn't have the money.
But then we still see her try to go to Rio, right? She gets on we never see if she goes, but she goes to the airport.
It looks like she's going. But see, this is now you're asking the question: does she go to Rio or doesn't she? I think she.
No,
does.
I'm saying what would we see in the film? I think we see her go to the ticket booth.
I looked at the Wikipedia page on this, and I don't know who writes these things, but it says that she calmly boards a flight to Rio, which is not my reading at all.
That's someone who clearly wrote their Wikipedia thing sometime after seeing the movie. She calmly.
Because we see her in a long shot, she approaches the ticket counter, and she obviously says, like, can I get my ticket, buy a ticket to whatever. And then her body language just is totally defeated.
And tense. My favorite moment in the whole movie is her smile when she's leaving Ewan McGregor. When she's knocked the knife in, right? Which is a great moment. And she gets up and she's backing away from him. And we've gone through, like, she's just murdered. She's put a fucking
very
knife
difficult
through
scene for me to watch. Yes.
Christopher Eccleston's throat, and then she's set the knife in, pinned Ewan McGregor to the kitchen floor. And as she's getting up, and this kind of horror kind of fades, this smile passes over her face, and she scrambles, grabs the ticket, grabs the suitcase, and out. It's a great, great, great moment. She's so good. I love her.
Oh, there's one other thing I read on Wikipedia about the ending, was that I guess in the first screenings or the testing, it wasn't clear that Ewan McGregor was actually alive at the end to everyone. Because he is pinned to the ground and he's kind of giving this sort of...
Well, and the photographer's taking pictures as if he's a corpse.
Yeah. So they added in this ADR line of him saying, "Hello, Inspector," to the police guy, so that we would know.
But don't you see him smiling at the end?
We do, but see, people are dumb at the ending of movies.
Yeah, you see, you would have had this question. What are we supposed? Is he alive? Is he alive?
No, I thought, is he dead? Why is he taking the picture? And then I thought, because he just spoke to the inspector, so he's alive.
Thank goodness for the
thank goodness for the clarity there. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I didn't think that he was dead.
There are a couple of things that are not related to the movie that I wanted to discuss.
Right.
One is that England is in the final of the European Cup.
This is the glory moment. This is before we get beaten.
I think it was the first episode, Don't Look Now, where they had just crashed out of the World Cup on penalties, and you were very despondent.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was the semi-final.
Because of Harry Kane's missed penalty. And now this week, what happened? Harry Kane knocks a penalty in.
This is the first penalty he's taken in a major tournament since then. And it was a bit of a controversial penalty, maybe, but he slotted it away with aplomb.
And so now they're in the final, England v Spain, coming up this weekend.
You'd have to say Spain are the heavy favourites, but yes,
we'll have to see how it plays out. Let us pivot. Shall we pivot to movies from 1995?
Please.
Big year, 1995. Graduated from my undergrad, didn't I?
You did?
Yeah, June of 1995. Moved to New York City. One of the worst years of my life. If my pal Matt Galkin is listening to this, I apologize, Matthew. He and I lived together on Bleecker Street in this apartment, and I was probably pretty difficult to live with at that moment. I was very lost. My father had just died, and it was very disorienting. Okay, movies from 1995. Some great movies from 1995. Here are a couple I've seen. Heat.
Oh, one of the greats.
One of the loudest movies I've ever seen. That shootout scene, I remember just being so loud. Seven, which I only saw for the first time last year.
Very good.
The Usual Suspects.
Wow, that's like, jeez.
Braveheart.
Okay.
Ron Howard's Apollo 13. What else? 12 Monkeys, Leaving Las Vegas, Crimson Tide. Delicious.
I do like Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah. Smoke.
Oh, I love those movies.
Written by the recently departed Paul Auster. I really like that movie. I think I saw that twice in the theater. Welcome to the Dollhouse, a movie from...
You saw that?
I saw it because I had the good fortune to score Todd Solondz's most recent movie, Wiener Dog, and I had not seen it. I wanted to have seen. I had seen Happiness, which was a very difficult
That's
movie
a hard movie, yeah.
for me, and I wanted to see other of his films, so I saw that.
That's a
too.
fun movie.
A lovely, lovely, kind, generous person, Todd Solondz, by the way.
Yeah, I met him in Abu Dhabi.
I'd love to work with him again if he makes another movie. Okay, movies from 1995 I have not seen. Some pretty good ones in here, Sam. I think this is going to be a tough one. The Bridges of Madison County.
Oh, God. That's another one from my aunt's collection. We could do a whole podcast of my aunt's favorite movies that you haven't seen. Mostly involving Richard Gere, but this one, Clint Eastwood. Yeah.
And the unimpeachable Meryl Streep.
She is very, very good.
Before Sunrise.
Oh, wow. You've never seen any of those three movies?
I have not.
Maybe we should do all three of them.
Showgirls.
Okay.
Kids.
Oh, Kids. Kids is good.
That would be interesting, sort of a time capsule, I feel
Yeah,
like.
it's very much of that moment.
Martin Scorsese's Casino.
What? You've never seen Casino?
No, but too scary.
Oh, but you've seen...
Also, I feel like when it came out, there was this sort of like, I remember a guy, a friend of mine in grad school was like, yeah, I already saw that movie. I liked it better when it was called Goodfellas. You know, that the idea that there was some sort of like overlap or similarity between the two. But no, I never did see it.
Wow. Okay, that's a big one. It's going to be hard.
Billy Madison.
What's Billy Madison? I don't know this.
Billy Madison and Tommy Boy. Because Billy Madison is an Adam Sandler movie, and Tommy Boy is David Spade and Chris Farley.
I don't know this.
Okay. Well. Safe.
Todd Haynes.
With Julianne Moore.
Todd Haynes' best movie. That's a great movie.
We had it on Laserdisc in Bleecker Street.
But you never watched it?
No, too scary. So that's a possibility.
That's definitely a possibility.
To Die For.
Oh, yeah, Nicole Kidman. Who's that, Gus Van Sant?
I think so,
I didn't love that movie. Everyone loved it. I didn't really love it.
Jim Jarmusch's Dead Man.
Man, you fucked up this year.
This is a big year, yeah. I told you it was I was lost. I was lost at the time.
Oh, God. That's a great movie.
Dead Man, starring Johnny Depp as a character called William Blake.
It's an amazing movie.
I spent a lot of time reading and studying and writing about William Blake as a student and grad student. Score by Neil Young.
Yeah, it's a great movie and shot just beautiful black and white photography. Absolutely gorgeous movie. Such a strange, it's like a mood piece. It's an amazing, amazing movie. Probably my favorite Jarmusch movie.
Wow. Okay. The City of Lost Children.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This
is a tough year. Yeah.
This is maybe the hardest we've ever had.
Yeah.
That's another great movie. I can't compete with some of the others maybe, but it's a great movie. You should have seen it.
Devil in a Blue Dress.
Is that the Denzel?
Denzel, yes. It's
a
Walter Mosley adaptation.
It's okay. That's a lesser on this list.
Okay. Okay, last one. I'm going to see if I can pronounce this correctly. Mabarosi.
Oh, yeah.
Japanese movie.
Yeah. Who made that? I don't think this could compete with Casino and Before Sunrise and Dead Man.
Hirokazu Koreeda.
Koreeda. Yeah, Koreeda, who made Shoplifters recently, I think, and made...
Oh, that was supposed to be good. I wanted to see. I almost saw that. I remember it was playing down at the Ritz, and I almost
He made this movie, Afterlife. It's fantastic. That might come up in one of our years. All right, so let's break it down.
So here's what I've got for you. Before Sunrise, Casino, Safe, Dead Man, City of Lost Children.
You can knock City of Lost Children off.
Okay.
I think it's between Before Sunrise...
Casino and Dead Man?
And Safe. No, I'm actually leaning towards Safe somehow. I think Casino's the big movie.
Yeah.
It's like Scorsese does it turned up to 11. Right? It's big. It's got De Niro and Pesci, and it's mobsters, and it's Vegas. Sharon Stone puts in a career performance. I love it. I think it's a great movie. It's got set pieces that are amazing. It just moves, and it's a crazy movie. So it's hard to pick against that. My cousin Alexei, who's a big fan of this podcast, will be desperate for us to pick Casino because it's like one of his favorite movies.
He thinks he's quite vocal about how crazy he thinks I am for not having seen these movies.
He said next time you come to London, he's going to come over and beat you up.
All right, fair enough. I deserve it.
So that's a reason for that. Before Sunrise, it sort of launched this whole other kind of style of filmmaking by Richard Linklater. It's an interesting thing because there are three, then it comes back and back again. It's a very slight though movie. It's two people, right? For 90 minutes. It's just watching two people almost in real time.
This is tough. It's a tough decision. And then you've got Dead Man.
Dead Man is this kind of poem, Jarmusch poem. But the movie that I'm kind of drawn to for weird reasons is Safe, because I think
maybe it will speak to our own time the most.
I think that's the thing. It's so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
I think it leads to a more interesting conversation. So it pains me to not pick Casino. What do you think? My vote would be, I think in terms of our conversation would be more interesting around Safe.
I think so too. That's
a tough one. Casino. Yeah. If I tell Alexei we fast up on Casino, he's really going to beat you up. He's gonna make you watch it.
Like I can't come to London ever again.
He lives just down the road as well. You'll know when you're around. You should watch Casino, for fuck's sake.
I'm going to add it to my list. I have a list of the other movies, that has Frantic and Sea of Love and Jagged Edge.
James Woods and Sharon Stone in that movie are so good. And of course, De Niro and Pesci are,
I just want to say before we go, just looping back to the England football thing and whatever, it's the country of Scotland was never, I had no animus against it, nothing against it, but it's somehow weirdly figuring bigger and bigger in my life the last few years, since my daughter's going to school there, and then like my son might go to school there. I'd say it's like a 50-50 chance he ends up in Edinburgh, and then we're like,
I'll tell you what,
you're doing this documentary up there. And
I know, it is funny. It is funny. I was thinking watching this movie last night, I was like, yeah, Scotland, and the number one knock against it is the weather.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
If they had good weather, I mean, of course, if they had good weather, they wouldn't be Scotland. But if they had good weather, it would be like when we were there in May and the sun was shining. It's just a wonderful place to be. People are so lovely, and there's something just.
The people in Glasgow are so kind, so nice.
Yeah,
I really love it there. And speaking of weather, there's a poem by the Scottish poet Robin Robertson called Aberdeen that starts, "The grey sea turns in its sleep, disturbing seagulls from the green rock." Very good.
Grey sea, exactly. That's what they do.
And then later talks about the sifting rain, italic rain, the smurr that drifted down for days, the sleet, your hair full of hail as if sown there. That's an amazing line. Your hair full of hail as if sown there. Anyway, that's sorry about that. But it's funny with Liv that she's like, I mentioned England's in the Euro, whatever, and a slight anti-England
immediately
has come in for her, that she's absorbed this,
of course,
the Scottish sort of attitude to London and to England. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Even though she was born in London and lived there till she was, 5 or 6 or whatever.
It's hard. It's especially hard for me as someone who feels like I'm not originally British or anything. Obviously, our family is all from Iran, and we ended up in London and Edinburgh for a while. But every time I'm in like Ireland or Scotland, I feel like I'm being asked to apologize for England. And I'm like, look, it's got nothing to do with me, mate. Yes, I lived there for a while, but I'm not particularly, devoted. I left that country too. But I understand where it comes from. I understand the antipathy. In a way, it's why these tournaments are interesting, because the tournaments thrive on national identities and the characteristics. Oh, the French play this way. The Spanish play this way. The Germans play that way. You know, the Italians, they're like this. And it's really interesting, like how the as much as Europe has become one and this and that, these divisions remain. And even within the UK, like, yeah, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, England, they all have very, very different identities. And if you ask the Scottish and the Welsh and the Northern Irish, would they be happy to play as one country, to do like a UK team? They all say no. Even though the Scotland team, you know, has never won a fucking game out of the group stage in 50 years or whatever. Like, but it's interesting.
Well,
all right, I'm off to see. I'm due to go see Terry in a couple of hours. See if he's got the car.
Can't wait.
I'll let you know. Perhaps next week we'll be back in the Subaru.
That would be nice. Yeah, I guess that's it. Todd Haynes, safe.
Yeah, sounds good.
So long, mate.
Cheers.
And that's that. Next time we explore Todd Haynes' 1995 environmental illness drama, Safe, starring Julianne Moore. It's a movie that speaks to our time as much as it does to its own. Check it out if you have a chance. For now, goodbye.